Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 743. I am probably pixelated. My Nighthawk is still not syncing. Yes, I remembered to try to sync it up without writing it on my hand yesterday. And it's still red. I did another, tried to sync. I synced it upstairs, came down here, didn't work. Synced it again down here, didn't work. Red light on the Nighthawk. I've got it up on my Google. Trying to log into the app on my phone, and for some reason I can't figure out the password. Surprise. It's been this week. I'm like freaking done with technology. Hey, I've got a blue light. Frickin' A, it works. Okay. Things are starting to go my way. What was Steve Martin's line in The Jerk? Things are starting to go my way. Was it that? I can't remember. I'm about to pull, and I've got a lot of hair to pull. I got to get a haircut. I'm going to pull my flipping hair out. I want to say the F-bomb, but we may have tiny ears in the house. Dean could be here. Porter could be here. We've got to keep it PG. Terry, what's happening? Good morning, Terry. Jenny says, happy December non-baseball lockout year. Absolutely. And I'm looking forward. We're going to have a Rule 5 draft. I think the Rule 5 draft's next week, or the winter meetings must be next week. So we'll have a Rule 5 draft for the first time in 2 years, which normally I'm excited about the baseball Rule 5 draft. However, I'm not this year because there's a lot of Cubs prospects that will be left unprotected. And I have a feeling some of my favorite Cubs minor leaguers could be plucked away in the Rule 5 draft. So I'm not looking forward to it for that reason. Let's see. Cooter, good morning to you. This year has flown by. It has. It really has. In fact, oh my God, this is another reason I'm going to pull my hair out. We met with the landscaping company. Shout out to Olson Toon. They're awesome. By the way, the Toon in Olson Toon is former New York Jets wide receiver Al Toon. He's part owner of the landscaping company, which is actually it's like a block away from it's a big block. It's a long block. It's a country block here in the Midwest is what we call it. But Olson Toon, we met with our landscape guy yesterday and got the bid. I may not be able to afford the internet at the new house after seeing the bids come in. So the reason I say that is, so we get home, we're talking about, everything. And, my wife and I are talking timeline as far as, how everything's going to go down. Ideally, when we put our house on the market, most importantly, when do I have to have this disaster area cleaned up for potential walkthroughs? And it was, my wife's like, we should have it like, January. And I'm like, flip, that's next month. It's December 1st. Well, tomorrow, we talked about this last night. It's essentially December. Holy SHIT. I got a lot of crap to do to get prepared. In fact, I got a lot of bulk to sell just to give me some space to put stuff away. So because part of the reason I've got to have that closet. Herman's seen the closet. It's like 8 feet high, 12 feet back, nothing but boxes of cards. So I've got to get all of that at least cleaned up in a space where they can like look back there, because that's that closet goes back to the exterior wall. So it's like shit. So I've got a lot of work to do this month. And yes, the year has flown by, and now I'm starting to realize, holy crap, it is December and I've got a lot of work to do. Jenny says, yes, it has. I'm okay with winter flying by. 1 whole degree this morning. It's cold there in Minnesota. I've got 14 on my thermometer. Good morning, Herman. There's Herman. Ed is in the house. What's up, Ed? Brian, good morning. Terry says, have you tried Car Dealer Pro recently? I used it last night. No errors. Yes. Yes. In fact, I used it. Ted reached out to me, said there were some updates. So I went in yesterday, late morning. Was it yesterday? So this is part of the reason I'm going to pull my hair out. Yesterday was not Car Dealer Pro related. Yesterday was celebrating Car Dealer Pro was working, but it was my my new computer. That was the technology problem on Wednesday. So yes, I did successfully uploaded a batch. And then once I got my scanner, this is a whole new techie issue. Once I got my scanner rolling, it used to be, and I guess this is because I use computers and I have different things hooked up. It used to be when I bought a new computer, I just plugged it in. For some reason, you would think it would be easier 20 years later to just plug a computer in. Plug it in and play. Plug and play. That was like the thing. Plug and play. I thought we were at that point. Plug it in, let it play. So I hooked up my new computer. I bought it last Tuesday. I didn't even hook it up until today's Thursday, until this past Tuesday. So a week. It sat in a lonely box for a week, and I hooked it up, got things rolling. I haven't been able to sync up the printer that's on my desk upstairs. Then, which is okay because I don't really print much. Then I wanted to get my scanner rolling, so I want to get that set up so when I do plan and upload soon, once Car Dealer Pro, at the time, it's like once Car Dealer Pro's working, I have everything ready to roll, and I can just, all of these issues have like slowed me down, which is okay because I had so many sales last week. I'm still trying to climb out of shipping hell, which shipping hell is good. Sounds bad. It's actually good. So yesterday I take a break from shipping hell, go upstairs, plug and play, right? Plug the USB. It's like, oh shoot. The Fujitsu like drivers are on a CD. I'm 40. Like, I just think everything has a CD, like cars have CD players, computers have USB ports and CD players. Not the case. We've advanced. Or have we? So I plug the scanner into my computer, fire up the computer. Crap, I need to download the software. Okay, I can probably do this online. Google it, boom, download the software. Ready to go. Scanner's not found. What the hell? I plugged it in. Okay, maybe I have to plug it in again. Plug it in again? No, doesn't see it. Son of a bee. So I'm pulling my hair out. Fortunately, my wife was home. She's much more tech savvy than I am. She sits down and she's like, oh, da, 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 da. And usually when I have technical problems, I tell my wife, hey, this is going on. And she like pushes like one button and it works. It's the magical touch. For me, I'm like 3 hours in and I'm like, what the hell's going on? My wife's like, oh, just press this button. What? What? So she comes in, she doesn't press a button. She's like, she's pulling her hair out now. And she's like, do you have customer service number? And I'm like, no, but let's look it up. So we call customer service. Thank you to, I think his name was Carl. Carl was great help from Fujitsu. Thank you, Carl. So we got everything rolling. My scanner wasn't even, he asked for my serial number and he goes, oh, you're not even registered. I'm like, I never registered. Like, do you have to register? Like when you get, it's like register your scanner, your printer, your computer here. It's like, screw that. I don't want to register my computer. Anyway, Carl got me all registered with my serial number and we downloaded the driver. It's not, I will say, while Carl from Fujitsu customer service was great help, I will like to pass along, Don, if you're listening, pass this along to the internet team. downloading the drivers is not, especially for a guy like me that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Downloading a driver, it was not. I mean, if my wife can't figure it out, she knows what she's doing. She's way more smarter than I am, and she couldn't find it. Make like a website for Fujitsu for dummies. Here's where you download the driver for this machine, this machine, this machine, and here's your other stuff that you need. That would make it easier for dumbasses like me. So thank you, Carl at Fujitsu. Ready to roll. And then, of course, my settings. And then I had to get my settings. So I scan. And what do I do? Because I'm dumb. I scan 300 Topps Heritage Miners cards without the proper settings on my scanner. So I go to upload. First off, I had them scanned as a PDF instead of a JPEG. Then I didn't have the margins set, so they were like super tight margins, so you can't see the edges. And I had a white background instead of the black background. 3 strikes and you're out. Okay, so let's do it again. So I do it again, and I saved as like a bitmap, which I don't think is recognized by Card Dealer Pro. But I had everything else. Third time was a charm. So normally I don't do much like that type of work in the evening. I save that. I do that in the morning hours. Just, I don't know why. It's just part of my weird quirks. So finally, third time was a charm. I was able to upload it, hopefully, because it was at that point I was like done. So I'm like, I'm just going to upload this, let Card Dealer Pro upload in the background. It's probably not going to recognize these cards because it's a new checklist. It's only been out, 2 weeks now, so it's probably not going to be recognized. It'd be awesome if Card Dealer Pro had that checklist and had everything, but I'm not counting on it. So that's why I was pulling my hair out all the while. My damn internet down here wasn't working leading into the show this morning, but the Nighthawk blue light is on. So cheers to hopefully, after a week of Card Dealer Pro problems, Wi-Fi issues, new computer problems, and scanner issues, hopefully everything is hunky-dory now. I feel like a mess. So today I'll do some more shipping. I'll get those Heritage Miners uploaded. And then tomorrow I'll be heading to the Club 400 Christmas party. So yes, Terry, Card Dealer Pro, thank God, is finally working again. Let's see. Victor's in the house. What's up, Victor? David, good morning to you. Jenny says Keating could be here. We got to keep it PG for him. That's right. Good morning, Card Hobbyist. Zach and Porter says your picture is actually pretty clear. Good morning and happy December from Porter. What's up, Porter? Card Hobbyist says just hire Frank's robot, right? I hear you can find free spruce trees if you just go dig them up. Yeah. So get this. Oh, get this. Some people I texted in a group chat. So some people that are listening know this story. But for many of you, you don't. So I get some of my entertainment. I don't have an office. Like, I don't have coworkers. I have an office. I don't have coworkers to like talk to and share. So sometimes I share some of this in random chats. So some of my like office gossip I get from the app Nextdoor. I don't know if you're familiar. Oh shit. I don't even know how to work my damn email today. Filter by unread. I've read this. I just want to me. How did this get? Oh, God dang it. Unread. We don't want unread. I want, not to me. I don't even know how to work the filters in my stupid email, and it's Hotmail. No, I don't want unread. It keeps defaulting to unread. Why is it doing that? Okay. Anyway, I won't be able to read it because I can't figure out my email. It's in like one of the towns nearby. Somebody, basically, long story short, new to me, long story short, somebody cut down a spruce tree in somebody's yard and strapped it to the roof. I hope it's a joke, but I fear that it's not. So yeah, somebody cut down somebody else's spruce tree in their front yard or property to use as their Christmas tree. Again, I hope it's a joke, but I don't think it is. I think somebody actually cut somebody's spruce tree to use as their Christmas tree. Zach says, as someone who had a new porch and deck out in the past year, I can tell you it is an investment. Good thing I'm flipping NBA hot shot to pay for it. Double A Cards, good morning to you and happy Thursday. Zach says, we have Al Toon in our NFL star box because of the local collection. Yeah, Al Toon, former Badger, still lives here and lives in this area. Let's see. I think he lives in Wanakee. Jenny says, don't fight the spending of money on a storage unit. Just get one. You'll thank yourself later when you just have all that space empty now. So here's the thing. It's kind of like, and I think Cooter mentioned this previously. Cooter mentioned get a storage unit because spending that like monthly payment will push me to get rid of this stuff. Actually, what's going to push me more to get rid of this stuff is having a deadline of like January 15th or whatever, 20th, 30th to get stuff out of the house. Because if it's a payment, it's like, it's only, it's $100 or $50 or what. I don't even know how much storage units are. Maybe they're a lot more than that. But say it's $100. It's like, it's $100. I'll do it next month. It's like, I'll just sell more cards today. That's my thought process. So if they're in the house and I have to get rid of them out of the house, plus if I get a storage unit, I've got to move that stuff. I mean, I could hire somebody, but I'm not going to do that because I'm already, the cost. So I'm just going to fight it out and try to bulk out some stuff, truckload at a time. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. Ted's in the house. What's up, Ted? Let's see. Zach says to Dan, brings up a great point. You don't build a philanthropic empire without busting a few kneecaps on the way up. Hobby people, G-Day. What's up, Paige and Deanie Bean? Garrett Palka, what's up? Anyone's eBay spendable funds not working? I'm not sure. I don't use. I'm wondering, are you talking about the like managed payments to where you use your managed payments for spendable funds? I haven't. I haven't looked into that. I don't do that. So if anybody else can help Garrett out with that. Ted says we've been pushing daily Car Dealer Pro updates, fixing some of the issues and bugs introduced. I think with this morning's fix to the native app, we have finally have everything good. That is excellent news. Christian says always register. It makes getting support and warranty help better. I did learn that yesterday because I had to go through that. So it would have saved me a minute or two on the phone. After being a Walking Dead watcher, I no longer pronounce the name Carl correctly. I've never seen The Walking Dead. I think I may have watched the very first episode, and it just wasn't for me. Let's see. Terry says, what does Terry say? Terry says the download section for Fujitsu is confusing with all the software listed there. Yes, it's super confusing. And I couldn't remember which software I use, which software matches up with the 8170, where you can use the margins and all that. And now I'm wondering, and I don't know this, Terry probably knows this. Could you, say you had the 7030, but you want the software that comes with the 8170 and the 7160. Does that software work for the 7030? Like if you downloaded that, would that mesh up with your 7030 scanner? I'm guessing probably not. But the software that comes with the 7030 meshes up with the 8170. So I'm wondering if it's like a PlayStation, like the PlayStation 2, you could play PlayStation 1 discs, but you couldn't play PlayStation 2 discs on the PlayStation 1. So I'm wondering if that's the way that software is. Zach says, Christian is right. Whether a blender, coffee maker, or weed whacker, register the product. It's all online now. Card Hobbyist says troubleshooting is a lot of repetition. It's a lot of hair pulling and repetition. Yes, it is. Clark is in the house. What's up, Clark? Colin says, is Card Dealer Pro good for 50s, 60s, vintage hockey and baseball? It is, and this has probably already been answered in the chat, but yes, it is. I know for baseball. Hockey, I'm not sure if hockey's good with Card Dealer Pro because you know me, I don't do hockey. But I can assure you, yes, it's great. Vintage is great for baseball, football, basketball. I don't do soccer and hockey, so I can't help you there. But yes, that's probably the best because there's not like I would say vintage on Card Dealer Pro is the best because there's no serial numbered cards, there's no parallels. Because once you get to modern, even say it's a base, say you're looking to scan a 2021 Topps card. I get issues where it reads, and this isn't just a Card Dealer Pro problem. This is like AI in general, whether it's Card Dealer Pro, Chronazio, Center Stage, anything that uses AI is, not going to be 100% accurate all the time. So what I find with some of the moderns, even if it's a Topps base card from like 2021, it may recognize it as a rainbow foil or as a vintage stock for whatever reason. But there's none of that in the database for vintage because there's no rainbow foils in 1957 Topps. So it's actually more accurate for vintage. Let's see. Card Hobbyist says, hopefully that spruce tree had a mad squirrel in it, right? And that was even reading through some of the comments. A couple people made Christmas vacation jokes. Some people were like offering thoughts and prayers because they lost a freaking tree in their front yard. Cooter says an APB has been issued for Clark Griswold. Jenny says, have any of you Wisconsin folks been to Waukesha Sports Cards? No, I have not. It looks like they do a lot of signings and people can mail them in for signings. Curious what y'all might know. I don't know anything about them. I've never been over there. I've never been to any of the shops in Milwaukee. Zach, I wonder if Zach's been over there because he's much closer to Waukesha than I am. Good morning, Uncle Rich. 4 likes, 32 people. We can do better. Thank you, Uncle Rich. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Scotty Dubs, good morning. Ken is here. What's up, Ken? Still willing to buy bulk racing. The issue with my bulk racing is I don't know where it's at. I mean, it's here. It's either in this room or the other room. But it's just here. Let me show you. Let's so there's the piles of cards. So it's kind of a mess. And yeah, those cards go all the way up near the ceiling. So that's just a small portion. That's like a 10th. That's just like a 10th of what I'm dealing with. Actually, probably less than a 10th. So I have racing. It's got to be found. Let's see. Rich says, don't forget to subscribe. Rich says, if I recall, Waukesha has been around a long time. Yes, I think it's one of the Focus. Yeah, I think it's one of the longer standing card shops in the Milwaukee area. Herman finally finished Walking Dead yesterday. Walking Dead's been out for a long time. Like, how many seasons of The Walking Dead is there? Because I remember when it came out, I was still living in Macomb, which was at least 8 years ago. So I moved up here I've been up here 8.5 years. So it's been on at least 9 years. Let's see. Zach says, I went to Waukesha Sports Cards at the age of 9. That was a long time ago, which means they're long standing. Red Light 34 is in the house. What's up? I just cracked my voice. They've been around a long time. Jenny says, well, if Zach was there at 9, they've been around for centuries. Dan wants to know if there's any advice for someone who's buying a new computer specifically for Card Dealer Pro purposes. Is a Mac or Windows better? I'll let Ted take that one if he's still in the chat, but I'm a Windows guy. I have had limited issues, and I know with a lot of programs are better with Windows. And I know John Keating's pulling, oh, he doesn't have any hair. John Keating's cursing me right now, somewhere in Los Angeles. Let's see. Terry says, not sure about the software. I do know the 7160 and 8170 is the same. Herman says, I'm wondering how many people that watch Bo started using Car Dealer Pro on his recommendation. Jenny says, not me, Herman. I'm not spending on something I can't use for a week. Yeah, that is frustrating. Dan, what is up? Good evening to Dan. Colin says, cool, thanks. Got to get on hockey train. Huge margins, buy cheap, sell high. It's a time thing for me. I don't know hockey. So the time that I would spend trying to learn it would erase a lot of those margins. Kind of like with soccer. Like I had a row of soccer, and like with baseball, I can take a pile of baseball and I can tell you, oh, this is a short print. This is a variation without like having to look it up on eBay or, search the sets. I guess, maybe I could go to Car Dealer Pro, Cardboard Connection, look at checklists, but then it's like, I don't even know the players. So it would take a lot of it would just take a lot of work for me to learn it. And I don't like hockey. Like I don't watch it. I don't care about it. It's just not my lane. Here's my thought process on it. And it's not me being stubborn. Maybe it is. But it's like there's high margins in a lot of different things. But I choose a low margin baseball cards, right? It's like there's high margins playing professional baseball, but you have to have the talent. That's a really bad analogy, but there's high margins in, I could go vintage and grade cards and make higher margins, picking up a raw 57 Topps Mickey Mantle, submitting it and, making hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, but it's just not my lane. And I'm cool with that. I have a lane and I'm just cruising. I'm the tortoise in my lane and I'm cool with it. I'm a tortoise, so I'm in a Prius. Shout out to your slow Prius drivers out there. So I'm cool. I'm cool not getting on the hockey train, not getting on the soccer train. I'll just bulk that crap out and stick to the sports that I know. In fact, I don't even like football and basketball. I know it much better than hockey and soccer, but it's still not my forte. Baseball is my forte. Because I know, like I can skim through a box and I know a price, like boom, I just know. And so you just do that and you don't need to rely on other sports to make the money work for you. So that's why I just, football and basketball, and it's a lot of football and basketball. Another reason I stay away from it is I can't like Panini has their licenses, and most of the Panini products are not good scannable cards for the feed scanners because they're prism and they're optic and they're the shiny chrome that don't work well in those feed scanners. So it's like I have this big box of stuff I can't bulk list. But baseball, even some of the chrome baseball I can actually scan. Sometimes I have to do it one at a time, but it's still, at least it scans fine. So Joe Caprino, what's up? Rocco says your room is messy and you're collecting too many cards. Rocco is right. My room is messy and I do have too many cards. The closest would tell the story. Herman says it ends, but there is at least 2 more spinoffs coming in 2023, talking about The Walking Dead. Cooter says it's kind of a mess. The understatement of 2022. At least you move the eBay box over your right shoulder. Oh yes. So that was my bubble mailers. So that box is now empty and in the recycle bin. Let's see. Damn it, Carl. Let's see. Rich says I don't do mail order. Let's see. Cooter says John is probably sleeping off the red-eye flight back to Philly last night. Ted says, I say that as a Mac guy, by the way. Let's see. Rich says, Bo has too many cards, and in other important news, the sun will rise in the east and set in the west. Speaking of too many cards, there are too many card releases in the month of December. Usually, the month of December is like the slowest. It's so slow. How slow is it? December is historically so slow with baseball card releases. Like, my mom always puts baseball cards in my stocking. And my mom, like she's not shopping in July for Christmas. And it's a stocking stuffer. When do you shop for stocking stuffers? Like December 23rd, or if you're like me, December 24th. One year I went shopping for stocking stuffers at like 5 p.m. I'm here and I don't have anything for your stockings. That's just the way it works with stocking stuffers. So like it used to be like back in the day, and Rich can confirm this, like back in like the junk wax era, Top Series 1 came out like before Christmas. Now it's February. Maybe the end of January, but typically like my stocking, it's like, what the hell? Where did you find this stuff? It's like, oh, it was on the bottom shelf at Walmart. So typically it's like, oh man, there's not any good stuff. Well, there's no good stuff released in the month of December. That's going to be different this year because there's a lot of releases. And part of it is Topps released their holiday checklist, which I didn't even know if Topps was going to do holiday this year. They are. The checklist is out for Topps holiday, which I believe it said December 1st is the release date. So I also think Topps holiday is a Walmart exclusive. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Usually Thursday and Fridays are when Walmarts are stocked. So if you go to it, it's been stocked today or tomorrow, there might be Topps holiday on the shelves. My guy, Ethan Roberts, on the checklist. So another unique card to add to the Ethan Roberts collection. He's on the checklist. So Topps holiday out today or tomorrow, or next week, depending on when your stores are stocked. So I'm like, I forgot about Topps holiday. It's typically not a release I buy. I'm not a big holiday fan. It's kind of like it or not like. It's not love or hate. It's like or dislike. You either like holiday or you dislike holiday, I feel. I dislike it. But with Ethan on the checklist this year, I will, if it's on the shelf, I'm not going to go out of my way to buy a blaster or anything. But if I see it on the shelf, I'll pick up a couple blasters just for funsies. Let's see. So let's go to the chat before we talk about more releases in the month of December. Rich says that's because the quarterly earnings still matter, and with the issues of getting products out on time, December is now a key month. But this is just recent. This is like a 2022 issue. As recent as and I guess we can now divide everything up pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Like going into the pandemic, like there was no releases in December. December was like the middle of December. Well, you had actually Topps holiday was a November release. And then you went into December and you had like Bowman's Best and Bowman Draft. That was like the only baseball release in the month of December going into the pandemic. And now the pandemic, I think now it's just, there's so many delays, supply chain, I'm sure employee issues. We've heard of paper issues. I'm sure that has probably a lot to do with, why we're seeing just an influx of delays and late releases. Rich says, think about this Upper Deck's flagship high-end product. The cup has not released yet from 2020-21. Dan says, Herman, I am signing up for Car Dealer Pro this weekend, specifically because of everything I've learned from Bo. I also bought a Fujitsu scanner. Thank you, Dan. Let's see. Rich says there are probably still others floating around which are behind the times. Dan says, does caffeine make you want to burp? Does caffeine make you want to burp? I don't think so. I burp a lot in the morning because I get animated and I'm breathing in too much air while just taking a gulp of coffee. I'd probably belch with just regular water. Um, I do get acid reflux on occasion. I typically get acid reflux. Usually it's dairy that causes my acid reflux. Like if I eat a bowl of ice cream late at night and then go lay on the couch and then go to bed, or if I eat like a heavy meal, sometimes can do it. Let's see. Rich says, okay, time to get the day going. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Uncle Rich. Zach says, I don't buy anything because of Bo, but I wouldn't know any of you without him and his hoarding backdrop. Mr. Apex, good morning to you. Dan says, bargain box folks are cruising in the HOV lane through Georgia, happy as a pig in slop. Well put. Let's see. Gas station pizza causes, yes, gas station pizza probably does cause some of my reflux. So we've got Topps Holiday. Bowman Platinum is still coming out. I think there's a release date set for Bowman Platinum of December 7th, which is next week. What is that, next Wednesday? I'm looking forward to Bowman Platinum because Bowman Platinum, and here's the funny thing, it's normally I don't get excited about sticker autos, but Bowman Platinum is typically like all sticker autos. Ethan Roberts said he signed 5,000 stickers. They haven't been in any products yet. He hasn't had a Bowman card yet. So I'm wondering, so my thought on those 5,000 stickers that Ethan signed was either Bowman Platinum, and that's kind of a release. I'm like, I bet he's going to be in Bowman Platinum. Or next year's Bowman, like stickers are usually for the retail Bowman autos. So I'm curious when Bowman Platinum comes out, will Ethan Roberts be on that checklist? Will those autographs be in Bowman Platinum? We may find out. Hopefully they release a checklist, but it's scheduled for December 7th. I'm looking at Beckett's release calendar. This is all obviously subject to change. It changes on a weekly basis, but they have they don't have Topps Holiday, but Topps. Oh wait, they do. They had Topps Holiday as a November 30th release, which was yesterday, so that lines up. I think Topps came out and said tomorrow, or I don't know if they did or not. But anyway, Topps Holiday is coming out this week. Topps Rip is now out. It released yesterday. Today or tomorrow, Stadium Club, which we haven't heard anything about Stadium Club, but it's on the calendar. Let's see. I'm just going to go through baseball. There are some, I guess you can tell me. Tell Ethan to promise he won't sign for Leaf. I would love it if Ethan had some Leaf cards because I love Leaf cards. They're really cool. I don't think I have one next to me. I've actually bought a couple here in the last week. So we'll go baseball. So Stadium Club scheduled to be released tomorrow. And of course, Topps Holiday, Topps Rip also this week. Next week, Bowman Platinum. Topps Heritage High Number is scheduled for December 7th. And Donruss Optic. Let's see. December 14th, Topps Chrome Update. I'm looking forward to that one as well. Topps Chrome Update, December 14th. Topps Chrome Black, December 16th. They still have Bowman Draft scheduled for December, which I thought for sure that was going to be pushed out to January. And I don't know how updated this Beckett release calendar is. Basically, Fanatics / Topps sends out an updated release calendar every, I think, Friday. And a lot of these products aren't on the weekly releases. So, and I'm not sure. It's like right now, release calendars, I don't know who to believe. My buddy Tom from Real Break shows me the emails when he comes to the card show. I'm like, hey, when does this product come out? And he's like, well, here's the email I got yesterday. Let's see. So December 21st, Beckett has Bowman Draft, Topps 5-star. And let's see, December 28th, Bowman's Best. And that's actually right in line with years past. And then December 30th, we've got a couple Panini products. Panini Capstone Baseball, which must be new. Panini Flawless Baseball. And let's see, they've got TBA on Topps Gilded Collection. Not familiar with that. Triple Threads. and that's for baseball. So a pretty busy December calendar for baseball card releases. Terry said, could Ethan stickers possibly be split on multiple releases? Yes. So he's already signed 5,000. And then he has I think he has a contract. I don't know if he's in here, but he's got another 5,000. I think he's contracted for another 5,000, but he just hasn't received those stickers yet to sign. So he has already returned 5,000 autographed stickers. And yes, they could be, 2,500 could be in Bowman Platinum, 2,500 could be in Bowman. All 5,000 could be in one product. Maybe they split it out 1,000 for 5 products. I don't know how they do that, but yes, very well could be split into multiple releases. And he doesn't know either. He doesn't know which product they're going to be in. He just knows they're going to be, they could be in a product at some time. Let's see. David says, received the 2023 Topps Montgomery Club email yesterday. Renewals next Monday. New members Wednesday. Yes, that was something. I'd go in and read the email, but I can't figure out how to check my email. Uncheck my email. But yes, I received the email. And the funny thing is, I never signed up for Montgomery Club. And when the Montgomery Club was introduced, and I think it was 2018, I was buying stupid amounts of online-only releases. I bought 9 copies of the Javi Baez Topps Living Set card in 2018. I bought the Bryce Harper X collection. I bought the Gary V. I think that was actually 2019. What else? I just bought dumb. I bought a couple Topps Now cards, which I'm not a Topps Now collector. If I can find them in a $1 box, I'll buy them for $1. If I'm at the game and there just happens to be a Topps Now card, which has only happened, I believe, once, I'll buy a card. But I just bought dumb stuff in 2018. But I didn't buy the Montgomery Club. And then I just never got on that train, and I've had no interest. And they are dropping the price. And thankfully, they changed some language because people were outraged. And I think we talked about this in a previous Hobby Evolution. We were outraged. Oh, I'm a Montgomery Club member. I should get first dibs at every online product. And that's just no. So Topps actually put it in their language. These are the releases Montgomery Club members get first crack at, subject to change. So if we pull the rug out from under you, don't come at us. So I like that they did that. They also dropped the price, which I think was a novel idea because the market's down. We know that. And there's just not as much demand. And I think Topps knew that. They're smart. There's just not as much demand. We're going to drop the price. So I've never been a member of the Montgomery Club, and I don't plan to be again this year. Harlan is with us. What's up, Harlan? John's Mini Collections. Good morning to you. How many baseball releases are there these days? Sounds like there are more now than during the junk wax era. Absolutely. There are definitely more cards being printed. It's just on many more releases. 1989, we had 5 core sets, and then every retail store had their own product. KB Toys had a box set. Kmart had a box set. Woolworths had a box set. Was it Woolworths? I think so. But now there's just 5,000 releases. Back then there was 50 releases, but they printed 1 billion cards on 5 releases. Now there's 5,000 releases. They're probably printing the same amount of cards that they did in 1989, but it's just spread out. And of course they're secretive on all that, on those print runs. Let's see. Cooter says, Jenny says, looking online for holiday and surprise, the Update 2022 blasters are already marked down. Where are they marked down? If Topps Update 2022 are marked down, I am a buyer because I think this is a really strong release. So let me know where those blasters are marked down. Jenny says, must we relive the horrors of our spending of 2018? And it's really, and that's when like the boom for me and a lot of other collectors, I think, was 2018, on the heels of Aaron Judge mania in 2017. Like that was kind of the start of, I think there was small growth in the card market leading up to 2017, because like you go back to like 2008, 10, 12, the card market was not in a good place. And even into like 2014, 15, and it was just kind of a gradual climb. And then all of a sudden, I think Aaron Judge mania kind of tipped the scales in the summer of 2017. And then we just had a rush on rookies that carried some products for a couple years. We went in, it's like, well, 2018 can't top 2017 with Aaron Judge. Hold my beer. It sure did, because we had a guy named Shohei Ohtani, and he turned out to be the real deal. A couple battles with injuries in the last 4 years, but he's a stud. So we had Ohtani rookie mania to start 2018, and then we were off to the races. And then who knew worldwide pandemic would just absolutely leave 2018 in the dust in terms of growth of the card market. Cooter says, years ago, I had to sign 400 checks a week. It takes longer than you think and gets old real fast. So 5,000 autos would suck to sign. I would agree. I don't even like when you buy a house and you have to sign all the papers. It's like, come on. And that's like 20 signatures or 30. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's like, okay, am I done yet? Am I done yet? Am I done yet? Like, I can't imagine 5,000. I'll have to ask Ethan. You know what? I'm gonna text him right now and say, how long, or how do you divide it up? Ethan, when you signed your top stickers, did you sign all at once or take breaks? Was your hand tired? Oh, we'll see what he says. Let's see. Terry says, I'll try to sign up for Montgomery this year for the first time. And Terry, I'm curious, since you're signing up, since you haven't been a member before, why do you want to sign up this year? What's in it? Like, what's the carrot that you're going after that makes you want to sign up for the Montgomery Club for the first time this year? Jenny says, Cooter, I imagine it would be much like handwriting out 5,000 envelopes versus label printing. There you go. Absolutely. Colin says, we have a shipping company in Canada that crosses the border every day and ships our packages with USPS for a fraction of the price. Anything like that in USA. Global shipping program sucks. Yes, actually there are, and I don't know if it works both ways, but there's what's it called? There's a couple, because I mail a lot of stuff to like Ship My Cards. Make sure I enunciate. shipmycards.com. There's another place, and I think they're based out of Litchfield Park, Arizona. And I know these cities because I ship there so often. Litchfield Park, Arizona. There's one, I think, in Delaware. Is it Delaware? And there, Portland, Oregon also has one. So there are companies. I don't know if it works, but I don't know if there's a company like. So that's that's like in reverse. So that's for like somebody in Japan that wants to buy a card. And so they use ship my cards. And so the seller sends the card to Litchfield Park, Arizona to shipmycards.com, and then shipmycards.com then mails it to the buyer in Japan. I don't know if there's a reverse, like in Japan. Is there, can I sign up for this program? I want to buy is Tmall, is that an Asia product or Bowman Asia edition from a seller in Japan? How can I save on postage? I don't know if there's a program for us in the US. There's got to be, right? So I'm not sure on that. Let's see. Baseball collector Mike Moynihan in the house. What's up? G John Sports. In Car Dealer Pro, do you use the inventory feature, and does it show up in your listing on eBay so that after you sell the card, you can find the location of the card in your shelf box? Or how do you find cards quickly? That's a great question. So I don't use the custom Car Dealer Pro feature. I manually enter when I export. So when you export the CSV file, so say I have my listings, I export the CSV file. Within the CSV file, it's actually like column B. It's the second or third column. It's custom label. And so within that field, and it could be in one of the new updates. I don't know if Ted's still here. He might be able to answer this. But I manually enter it because I know it works. And I go into custom label and I'll put box 11 tab B. So, and then when it shows up when I sell a card, Topps Archives, Luis Gil, it's in box 11 tab B. I can go to box 11 tab B. Here's Luis Gil and find it. It shows right up in the eBay screen. So that's how I do it. I don't know. I don't know if others in here use Car Dealer Pro and use if there is a feature within Car Dealer Pro that automates it. But like each batch I use is a different tab. So, box 11, A, B, C, D are all in different batches just to, so prevent any potential issues from occurring. Cross-contamination. Let's see. Where are we at? Jenny says, I believe USA only has the global shipping program on eBay unless it's a send direct from seller to buyer with seller doing customs. Print slaves are a thing. Jenny's got the link. Walmart.com. What do we got? Topps update. Oh, that's not discounted. That's retail price. It's funny that it's marked down from $30. When you go in store, it's $25. But if they are available online, because I don't think they're in the store in my local stores unless they restock this week. So I actually may buy a few from Walmart.com. Paul Carl Cards, what's happening? Good morning to you. Buenos dias, Pepino Man. Cooter says, tell Ethan he needs to get his butt up in the morning for your stream in case we have questions. I know sometimes he pops in. I was surprised when we did the live with him, and I opened my Ethan Roberts mail day before we went on. I'm like, this is my card room, and he's like, oh yeah, I watch your videos in the morning, and I'm like, oh okay. Let's see. Paul says, I sign all my thank you notes in customer orders, so like 50 to 100 per day. It's not bad. Would be pretty quick to do them on one page, maybe split it up a few times per day. I like to automate everything. I don't sign. Sometimes I will put a note in my orders, but I just automate everything. Let's see. Because I just assume all buyers are like me, which I still spend money on business. Like I printed off a bunch of Hobby Evolution business cards and put those in every order. I've got my Madison Card Show business cards that I'll put in orders if they're within a 4 or 5 state area. But when I receive business cards, like I don't care. Like I don't even look at them. When in like I do this full time, and if I'm not looking at them, is Joe Blow down in Kokomo? Is he going to be looking at my Hobby Evolution? And the chances of him being on YouTube or knowing what YouTube is, I don't know what the chances are of that. So it's like, why do I waste my money on these business cards when I just throw them away? So that's kind of how I look at it. I don't want to spend time writing notes and including business cards. I know it's a personal touch, and a lot of people do like that. But when I order a card and get it from eBay, I don't want to. It's just extra junk in there. Let's see. Even coupons. Like if somebody says there was one time where it did become useful. It was a supply order during the pandemic. I ordered, I think, penny sleeves from a random company business on eBay, and they included like their website I think they even included a note which is against eBay. Like, you can't say go to my website and save money. That's like, if eBay found out about that, they would put the hurt on your account. But this seller did, and I went to their website and I actually put an order in for, I think, penny sleeves or something, and I got them 20% off or whatever the case was. So it did work in one instance. The saving or the business card did work. Card Hobbyist says Judge, Acuna, Otani, Soto, Tatis, Alonso, pandemic, stimulus, no sports, mad hype, right? So a virus plus a 6'7" baseball slugger led to people fighting for cards at Walmart. Love chaos theory. Paul says get cards shipped is another. Let's see. Colin says it's called Chit Chats, not for shipping cards, for shipping anything. Terry says, I second the custom label field. Also, no particular reason for Montgomery Club, just why not? Okay. Let's see. Jenny says, LOL, shows how much I paid attention to the new products. I figured they were 30 in store. I've not received my Hobby Evolution business card. I'm out now. And I'm debating, like, do I spend the money? I think I have, and I've seen slower growth when I was putting them in every, and I think I put 5,000 in the mail, 5,000 Hobby Evolution business cards to my eBay customers. And I saw much quicker growth within my subscribers than what I'm seeing now. Like, I've noticed, like, now it's like maybe one new subscriber a day, where it was like 3 new subscribers a day when I was putting them in my daily orders. So maybe there is something to that. Paul says the less other sellers do it, the better for me. Absolutely. I mean, you're differentiating yourself. Absolutely. Dan's trying to mispronounce coupon. I say coupon. Coupon. Andrew says coupon. I think it was my home ec teacher. I took home ec class, and I think I've shared this before. I took foods class as a sophomore because there was all the senior girls were in foods 1 and 2. That was the year that I put muffins in the microwave for 18 minutes. Not a good thing. A lot of those senior girls were very mad because their hair smelled like smoke. So my home ec, Mrs. Poole, Tina Poole, we did not get along. She said coupon, and she had a very high pitch. So Mrs. Poole, not to be confused with Mrs. Poole from the Hogan family, but Mrs. Poole, home ec teacher at Anawan back in the day. She was very tiny woman, and very high pitched voice. She kind of reminded me of, and this is going to sound really bad. She reminded me of if Marcy from Married with Children was an Oompa Loompa from Wizard of Oz. Kind of imagine like a taller Oompa Loompa that looks kind of like Marcy from Married with Children. If you can picture that was Mrs. Poole, my home ec teacher, who called them coupons. Anyway, let's see. No answer from Ethan. He's sleeping in this morning. So a lot of baseball card releases in the month of December. What am I a buyer on? I'm a buyer. Bowman Platinum, I'll probably buy some, and hopefully it does come out next week so I can have it for the Couch People Christmas party, which is a week from Saturday, December 10th, the Couch People Christmas party. I hope Mrs. Poole is not thank you, Harlan. I know. I just lost one. If Mrs. Poole, hopefully Tina, is not subscribing to my YouTube channel. Sophomore Bo, I assume Mrs. Poole picked up a drinking habit after that year. Oh, man. I'm sure she had many therapy sessions. And it wasn't just sophomore Bo. It was sophomore Bill and sophomore Mike and sophomore Charlie. We had a class. Oh, my God. We were assholes. I hope the kids are in school and not listening. We were freaking assholes. We took like, it was like adult living, and we were like the most childish of I think we were seniors by this point. Oh, we were assholes. So my apologies to Mrs. Poole and my classmates who had to deal with me and Charlie and Mike and Bill. Card Hobbyist says, LOL, Mrs. Poole is like, who you calling an Oompa Loompa? I didn't call her an Oompa. She just reminded me, if an Oompa Loompa and Marcy from Married with Children were like one being. So she's not Marcy from Married with Children. She's also not an Oompa Loompa, but she's kind of a hybrid Marcy Oompa Loompa. So I'm a buyer on Bowman Platinum. Back to baseball cards. I'm a Bowman Platinum buyer. Since Ethan Roberts is in holiday baseball, I'll buy a couple blasters of that. Bowman Draft. I don't even know if Bowman Draft is available on Blowout yet, which makes me believe if it's not available on Blowout for pre-order, then it's not going to be out on December 21st. But who knows? Maybe it is. Let's go to Blowout Cards. They've got Bowman Chrome, and they've got last. So it's not even available for pre-sale yet, which leads me to believe it's going to be a January release. Herman says, my high school science teacher, Mr. Baker, used to keep Bailey's Irish cream in his desk for his coffee. There were probably, we had, and this is the funny, and we'll leave it with school talk. I had a teacher, Mr. Killalay, one of my favorite teachers of all time. He was world history and in English. He was also a heavy smoker. He would smoke in the boiler room. And so the boiler room was, and this is what you could do in the 80s and 90s. Like teachers could go in the boiler room and smoke cigarettes. Mr. Killalay. I think he was like grandfathered in. Like he had been teaching since the late 60s or early 70s when like that was just, yeah, you could teacher. There were probably a gaggle of teachers in the boiler room smoking between periods. But in 1995, 96, 97, it was like, yeah, that's not cool. You can't go down to the boiler room and smoke, but Mr. Killalay can do it because he's been around for 3 decades. I've only met one teacher who wasn't a heavy drinker off hours. I had, I didn't know. And here's the funny thing. I was in Anawan a lot, and this is good for small town teachers. Many of the teachers that I had didn't live in my hometown. So they probably were heavy drinkers. They just did it in the comfort of a different city, different town. Card Hobbyist says, yeah, I can see dealing with high school kids driving a person to the bottle, especially like our class. We weren't breaking the many laws. We weren't like lawbreakers. We weren't like doing drugs. We weren't vandalizing. We were just obnoxious little shitheads. We just like to talk back and cause chaos. We like to toe that line. Like, this might be illegal. This probably is illegal in some states, but hey, it's not here. We weren't in the boiler room with Mr. Killalay smoking cigarettes, although I had some friends who were smokers and they would take every opportunity to smoke during school hours. But yeah, we weren't like lawbreakers. I one time got in trouble. Okay, here's one of my troublemaking moments. And I didn't even really do anything. It was PE class. And I pissed off one of my classmates who was a friend of mine. And I pissed him off to the point where he like came at me in the locker room. Like, not like he wasn't going to beat me up or anything. But he was pissed. And all of a sudden, another classmate like intervenes, like my bodyguard or something. And then they like really get into it. And because the kid that was coming at me he's already pissed off at me because I was being a little smart ass because that's what I did. And then the other kid was like, oh, no, you don't. And they were like pushing each other. And it was just kind of like, it was like a sumo match. And I'm not saying that it was just like how sumo wrestlers wrestle. That's how this was going on. They were just kind of doing this. Okay. And eventually it led back into like the urinal toilet area. And it was a small locker room. So I think there was maybe 2 toilets and 2 urinals. And there was a partition, like between the urinal and the toilet, there's a partition. And this battle, like they're pushing each other back and forth, and one of them ends up going through the partition and falling like on top of the urinal. And so then teacher comes in, what the hell's going on? All that. So we had to, I don't think we had to financially pay for the replacement of the partition, but we had to do like customer service, which was awesome. The 3 of us, because I was the instigator. And that's kind of how like, I didn't fight, but I instigated. So we had to do customer service. We had to do community service for like a day. But we got out of class. Like, that was my dream. Like, this isn't punishment. You're like, this is a gift. You are gifting me the opportunity to get out of class for 2 periods. What were teachers thinking in the 90s? Like, that's the worst thing for a dumbass like me, little shithead instigator. So it was who was it? It was me and Jeremy and I think Jay. Jeremy, Jay, and I. We had to move. I think it must have been around this time of year because I think it was just ahead of the Christmas program. So we had to. The school didn't have enough like chairs on site for like Christmas program for like this community and the school for seating. So so the school borrowed chairs from one of the churches in town. So we had to go in one of the teachers. I don't even think it was our PE teacher. It was just, maybe it was Kenny, our groundskeeper. We went to the Methodist church and got a bunch of chairs, and we just hauled in chairs for 2 hours and got out of class for causing chaos in the locker room. So that's the kind of crap we did. We didn't mean to we didn't purposely vandalize the partition in the locker room. We were just being shitheads in PE, and it led to the partition getting damaged. And then we do community service. Okay. Let's see. Harlan says, when I started college, professors still smoked in their offices. Andrew says, is there a friendly competition between Bo and Ethan to see who gets the most Ethan Roberts cards, or is Ethan? So Ethan's doing the rainbow, and I'm just more quantity. So Ethan's collecting the rainbow, and I'm just volume collecting. Some of I don't even have like most of the parallels because they're still pricey. Like some of the red, I think there's a red that's like $40. The vintage stock is like 50 or 60 on eBay. So I'm holding out, hoping that they drop in price, which they probably won't. But it's like, it's a new release. It's like, okay, once the newness wears off, maybe the prices drop a little bit. Terry says, I had an English lit teacher that would brag about his Lincoln car. During the next summer break, he was arrested for being in a stolen car ring. Oh, wow. Let's see. Cooter says, my favorite teacher kept a flask in her purse. All the literature books smelled like smoke because the whole department would smoke in the storage room in between the classroom during tests. Let's see. Cart Hobby says, I didn't really do anything. The quote of someone that did do something. I guess I'm guilty of that. You were mentally attacking versus physically attacking. It was probably more verbal. I think it was more verbal. And I don't even know what it was. It was just being shitheads. Let's see. Abraham says, good morning. Waking up in Valparaiso, Indiana today. Back to Madison this afternoon. Enjoy safe travels. I still hate Valpo for what they did to my Western Illinois Leathernecks in 1995 because of Bryce Drew, the Valpo Crusaders. Jenny says, my mom was the principal. So, ooh, that's tough. That is a tough one. So that's what I had for today. Spilled my secrets of high school and my troublemaking ways. And I have admitted this, I was voted most mischievous my senior year in high school, but it was mischief. It was just mischief. Um, and hey, when I went back, we our 20th reunion was canceled because of COVID, stupid COVID. But we've had a class reunion every 5 years, minus our 20th. Uh, Nobody's punched me. I was mischievous, but nobody's punched me. No, in fact, our 15-year reunion, I think all of our now, when I say all, my graduating class was 35. So we fought like brothers and sisters. So like uh the three of us that were tangling in the locker room, we had known each other for our entire lives. We had gone to school together, and we're in like literally the same classroom for 13 years or 15 possibly with preschool. Preschool, 2 years of preschool, kindergarten, grades through 12. And then actually Jeremy, who was one of the three that we were fighting with, uh, uh, I think it was just Jeremy and I went to college together. So we spent a lot, like the first 20 years of our lives together. So fights happen when you're brothers. So that's kind of how like we fought, we gave each other crap, but it's because we were so close. Let's see. Jenny is out. Thanks for jumping on. Andrew says, if anyone can help with 2022 World Cup Panini stickers, Dean is looking for doubles. He just started a sticker book. Very cool. Bo adopted Bart Simpson's behaviors and hair. I know I've got the Bart Simpson hair. It's like so. I compared Mrs. Poole to an Oompa Loompa meets Marcy from Married with Children. I am currently Bart Simpson / Kramer from Seinfeld with the hair I've got going on. So with that, I bid you adieu. Hit the like button if you like today's content. If not, I'm sorry. I'll probably do it all again tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I will be on tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. No show Saturday. I'll be at the Club 400 Christmas party on Friday night into Saturday. I'll be sleeping on Saturday morning. So let's see. I am not Biff from Back to the Future. I am more like, and I'm not even like I'm like nerdy Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. Like I am not, like I was not like cool Michael J. Fox. I was dorky Michael J. Fox. And I certainly wasn't Biff. I was not Biff. I was a shithead, but I wasn't that big of a shithead. We actually, that's the good thing about my school. Like we didn't really have a Biff at Anawan. In the time that I was at Anawan, we didn't have a bully. Like there were no bullies. There were just a bunch of like mischievous, little shitheads. But there were no bully Biffs. Just a bunch of dorks. And I was certainly one of the dorks. So with that, thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll be back on tomorrow morning, take Saturday off, and then we'll review the Christmas party on Sunday morning. So have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.